topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives. I'm Debi, your certified holistic health coach. I revitalize people's lives by helping them identify the root causes of their health and mindset issues and create a custom natural holistic strategy to address them. As a health coach, I'm not allowed to say that I heal, treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. I can certainly help you reduce symptoms and you'll feel so much better and be more productive. And what sets me apart is I actually released 70 pounds and kept it off for over 12 years. And I had a health and mindset transformation. And at the age of 51, I actually became a half marathon runner when I never ran from childhood, adulthood to foot pain. And I have done 8 half marathons so far. So mindset is the key to lasting change. Now, as a certified holistic health coach, I revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. I guide them to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrient products. My coaching is for optimizing health, whatever that may be. Efficiently release weight if needed, and enhancing your mindset. With my clients, I help them recognize that their thoughts, feelings, and emotions drive their actions and results, sometimes good, sometimes bad. That's why it's crucial to have a positive mindset in life. It's also imperative to manage your emotions and release those low vibrational emotions like fear, frustration, and doubt, because all it's going to do is slow you down and get you stuck physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Like a hot air balloon that has balances, I help my clients release those emotional balances and baggage so they get uplift to a better, happier, healthier life. And, they will begin to get healthier and feel better, and they are going to be sharing their, reshaping their core beliefs. You'll see and feel the differences in my coaching programs. Ask me about them. Set up a complimentary consultation at Debi Changes Lives. That is DebiChangesLives, as in Victory, ES.com/Linktree, LINKTREE. And I'll guide you to that better, happier, healthier life with custom natural solutions unique to you in the areas of mind, body, and soul. Now, today I'm thrilled to have back Ben Fuchs, a compounding pharmacist and the founder of Truth Treatments. He is a dynamic speaker on health, fitness, and skincare. He's also a radio show personality. He had a show called The Bright Side, several shows in critical health news, and one with my friend Becca called Daily with Doc with Becca Dukes. And you can see that at bit.ly/daily with Doc, all in lowercase. He's often on Coast to Coast radio show as well. So Ben is a skincare specialist that's well versed in nutrition and also fitness too. So we'll be discussing how to age backwards naturally. So let's welcome Ben Fuchs, a compounding pharmacist, health, fitness, and skincare specialist. Ben, welcome back to my show.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Another year has gone by. How do you like that?
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Just turned 66.
What? You're 66?
I just turned 66 years old.
Oh, wow.
What the heck is going on? It is what it is. It is what it is. And the most important thing, you were talking about skin, and I'm in the skin business. The most important thing is not how we look, it's our health. You can look great on the outside, but if you're falling apart on the inside, diabetes is heading your way, autoimmunity, dementias, cancer, God forbid. You want to make sure that you're healthy. The beauty will follow. And that's really my story. And that's what my skincare products are about. They're about changing the health of the skin the beauty follows.
Exactly. So with the glowing skin and being a pharmacist, what specific biochemical connection between a healthy gut that will light within for radiance that women are looking for, Ben?
I didn't quite understand that. I think you're asking about the glow.
Yeah, I'm asking you for how, physically inside, how can they glow from the outside?
The glow is blood, and the blood is oxygen and nutrition and electricity and also detoxification. It's all about the blood. You're in the health business, right? With longevity, and you and I talk about health all the time. The key to health, a healthy body, is healthy blood. All disease is cell disease. All illness, diabetes is a pancreatic cell issue. Dementia is a brain cell issue. Lupus is a fibroblast cell issue, the cells that make the connective tissue. Irritable bowel syndrome is an enterocyte, intestinal cell issue. Heart disease is a heart cell issue. You see where I'm going with this?
Yes, I am.
You don't ever talk about the cells. Your medical professionals will always tell you about the organs. Oh, you got a heart problem, you got a liver problem, you got an intestinal problem, but they never tell you about the cell. Why is that? Well, the reason is because there's nothing in the doctor's magical bag of tricks that can address the cell. They can take the organ out, they can electrocute the organ, they can poison the organ with a drug, but they can't help the cell because the cell's not stupid. The cell's been around planet Earth for 3.5 billion years. And in that 3.5 billion years, it knows what it needs. And ain't no drugs on the menu. Ain't no ablations on the menu. Ain't no surgical procedures on the menu. The cell needs oxygen, it needs nutrition, and it needs a clean place to do its work. And that's pretty much it. And from having oxygen and nutrition, a clean place to do its work, it goes on its own. It's on automatic as long as you give it what it needs. The skin is the same way because you see, when we have a skin issue, we really have a skin cell issue. And when we have a cell issue, we have a blood issue. And all disease is cell disease, but all cell disease is preceded by what I call dirty blood, which physicians or medical professionals will call hypercoagulable blood. You see, Debbie, when the blood becomes sticky and viscous, it doesn't circulate as effectively. And when it doesn't circulate as effectively, oxygen is not delivered to the cells, and nutrition is not delivered to the cells, and toxicity is not removed from the cells. And this is how cells become sick. So inside the body, health is manifested by healthy blood flow. Likewise, in the skin, health is manifested by healthy blood flow. And the cool thing about the skin is, unlike the inside of the body, you can visibly witness healthy blood flow. That's what we call the glow. Healthy blood flow equals the skin glow. And what we do at Truth Treatments is we support the blood circulation to the face to improve oxygenation, nutrition, and detoxification to what we call the keratinocyte, which is the skin cell, as well as the fibroblast, which is the cell that makes the collagen and the high hyaluronic acid, i.e. the connective tissue. To answer your question, it's about the blood. All disease is cell disease, but all cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. Your next question should be, how does the blood become sticky and dirty and toxic?
Well, you already said it. So
that's the next question, right? Well, where does the blood begin? I did a class yesterday. One of the things I do with my skincare products is I teach esthetician students. And I said, where does the blood begin? And nobody could tell me. One guy raised his hand and said, the heart. And I could see why he said that because it seems like it would be the heart. But that's not where the blood really begins. Where do you suppose the blood begins? At the level of the intestine. And under ordinary healthy circumstances, nutrients get into the bloodstream one by one, carefully. They're vetted. So there's cells at the intestine that say, hey, are you friend or foe? Okay, you're a B vitamin, you can go in. Oh, you're potassium, you can go in. Oh, you're a toxin, you better stay out. Oh, you're an antibiotic, you're going to stay out or maybe come in, depending on what the antibiotic is. Or whatever it is, the substance is vetted at the level of the intestine. That's how it's supposed to be. However, as we age and as the impact of malnutrition kicks in and as the impact of dysbiosis, disturbances in the microbiome in the intestine, the bacteria in the intestine kick in, and as the impact of poor food choices and inflammation and sugar and processed fats and seed oils, et cetera, kick in, leaks develop in the intestine and the bad guys get into the blood, and this initiates reactions in the blood. Now, the good news is the body will take those toxins, if you will, and the immune cells and molecules like histamine and pieces of bacteria. The body has a way of eliminating that stuff, getting it out of the blood. And you know what it does? It does what I used to do when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was known for having a messy room. That was my claim to fame. Because my room was really a mess. And my mom would come and she'd say, Benji, they call me Benji back then. They say, Benji, clean your room. And I had a foolproof mechanism for cleaning my room in 2 minutes flat. What did I do? Under the bed. You did it too. I can tell you did it too.
No.
No. Oh, your mom. All right. Under the bed. Well, the body does the same thing, except instead of under the bed, it takes all the dirt and all the toxins and all the bacterial particles that have snuck into the blood and the food particles, the gluten and the peptides and such, and it dumps them into the connective tissue and into the various organs and into the skin. And this is where disease comes from. All of a sudden, you have these distortions inside the body and the tissues of the body. If it happens in the skin, this is where dermatitis has come from, and barrier issues come from, and melasma comes from. So cleaning the blood is really, really important. And this is where the gut, or as we call it the gut, but the intestinal connection is so important. You got to patch up a leaky gut. There's many mechanisms for doing that, but topically, there's also mechanisms for supporting blood flow to the skin. Do you know what the most important vitamin, I got ahead of myself there. Do you know what the most important ingredient in skincare is for supporting blood flow to the face or to the skin?
Increasing blood flow, well, would it be vitamin C?
My favorite. Vitamin C is a nitric oxide booster. It stimulates nitric oxide. Now, I'm sure you've heard of nitric oxide. It's a very important vasodilator, meaning blood vessel opener. Dilation means to open. Vaso means blood vessel. And vitamin C turns on nitric oxide production, opens up blood vessels, or improves vasodilation, more oxygen. You can actually see that to the skin. Over the course of time, that increased blood flow means more oxygen to the skin cells, means more nutrients to the skin cells, means more detoxification to the skin cells. And that's what gives you the glow. It's about the blood. And that's why I love vitamin C so much. But there's also minerals, topical minerals. We know about minerals. We talk about minerals all the time. Plant-derived minerals have electricity. They carry electrical charges, and those electrical charges are also important for improving circulation. And that's why the core of our Truth treatments and of my formulations are minerals, plant-derived minerals, in conjunction with vitamin C, but not just any vitamin C. There's the cheapo vitamin C, and then there's the premium vitamin C. Now, what would you rather have, Debbie, the cheapo vitamin C or the premium vitamin C?
High quality vitamin C.
Right, exactly. That's what everybody deserves. The cheapo vitamin C for the skin is called ascorbic acid. And that stuff is cheapo. And I mean, it costs you you go on the internet and buy it for $1 a pound. It's ridiculously cheap. It's good internally. Ascorbic acid is good internally, but topically, waste of time, waste of money. What you want topically is a stable form of vitamin C and a fatty form of vitamin C. The most important one is called THDA. Or if you're a chemist, you could say tetrahexyldecylascorbate, but we'll just say THDA. Now, THDA, when I first started working with it 35 years ago, nobody knew about it. Now it's starting to get some press because it's amazingly effective for the skin. Number one, it's stable, never breaks down. Ascorbic acid breaks down, turns brown right in the bottle. Sometimes people will spend $200 on a little bottle of vitamin C and it'll turn brown right in the bottle. It'll turn brown. I don't know how companies live with themselves doing something like this. Our vitamin C never turns brown, stays clear for years because it's stable. Not only that, but because it's fatty, it's soothing for the skin. You can put it right on a burn. You can put it right on a cut. You could put it right on a scrape. And that, Debbie, if you want a little a tip on how to know if your skincare product's effective, put it on your baby's diaper rash. Put it on a sunburn. Put it on a burn if you touch a hot stove or your hair dryer burns you or whatever kind of burn you have. Put it on a cut. Put it on a scrape. And if your wrinkle product, your anti-aging product, whatever your skin product is, doesn't accelerate the healing of that burn or that cut or that scrape, it's not an anti-aging product. It's not a wrinkle product. It's a BS product. Because the same mechanism that beautifies the skin, that gives you the collagen and gives you the glow and gives you the blood supply and gives you the real pretty youthful skin, that same mechanism is the same mechanism that heals the skin. And that's because beauty is healing and healing is beauty. And that's my message that I want everybody to understand, not only in terms of skincare, but in terms of the beauty of the body, how well
Mm-hmm.
our body shows up, how strong our body is, how resilient our body is, how resistant it is to colds and infections and various viruses that are floating around. We don't need to be vaccinated and injected with poisons. We need a strong, healthy body. You know, when they had that whole scandal that was going on a few years ago and everybody was wearing masks and everybody was terrified and locking themselves inside their house, and the lines at Chick-fil-A were just as long as ever before. The
Oh,
lines at Taco Bell were even longer. And the lines at McDonald's, everybody wanted their Big Macs and their Chick-fil-A and this and that and the other, because we don't understand the relationship between what we're doing to our bodies from a
yeah.
lifestyle perspective and how our bodies show up, and what we're doing to our skin from a lifestyle perspective and how our skin shows up. So my message is, healthy skin is beautiful skin, and my truth treatments are about changing the health of the skin so the skin can be beautiful.
Yeah, but they have to have a healthy lifestyle in order to
Absolutely. If you're
yourself.
drinking, if you're not sleeping, if you're not exercising, if you're drinking alcohol, a little bit maybe, but if you're really going crazy with the alcohol or the drugs, and that includes prescription drugs, if you're under a lot of stress, if you haven't figured out a way to calm the body down, to deal with stress, yes, it's going to show up on the skin. And there's no getting around it. And by the way, what we hate about the skin as we get older, the wrinkles and the thinness and the dryness and the melasma or hyperpigmentation, those are largely issues of the connective tissue. And when the connective tissue breaks down significantly enough to show up as wrinkles or as skin problems, it's also breaking down inside. You're running higher risk for osteoporosis. You're running higher risk for vascular diseases and cholesterol deposits and blockages and heart disease and autoimmune problems and even, God forbid, cancer, because the connective tissue is responsible for the health of the entire body. So the wrinkles on our skin are a sign that the connective tissue is deteriorating significantly enough inside the body, even though we don't see it, that it could be leading to accelerated aging and ruptures and hernias and prolapses and God forbid, cancer and immune problems inside the body that are obviously worse than the things that happen on the outside of the body. So this is the canary in the coal mine. You want to treat your skin problems as a sign that the body is breaking down inside and shortening your life. And when you make corrections in the connective tissue systemically and globally, it'll also show up on your skin. You know what the best food is for building your connective tissue, by the way? I know you probably know.
Collagen?
Yeah, but what kind of food?
What kind of food? Well, with collagen, it could be, proteins are good.
Bone soup,
Soup.
chicken soup, chicken soup for the soul, and chicken soup for the body.
Yeah.
And chicken soup for the skin.
Well, it could be beef broth, can't it?
Beef broth too, but chicken has more chicken has more cartilage.
Well, I don't eat beef.
Oh, you don't eat beef, yeah.
A lot of people in my family do. Well, let's talk about the liver. The liver, does the liver,
Love your liver. Love that liver. The liver is like a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
It stores amino acids, it stores fatty acids, it stores vitamins. And so when you eat a food, the nutrients will get stored in your liver for use later on. It's kind of like, in the Army, they have, not that I wasn't in the Army, but I know in the Army they have warehouses where they have the uniforms and the boots and the rifles, and people requisition the boots and the rifles, and the guy in the warehouse will deliver, or people in the warehouse will deliver the stuff that was requisitioned. That's the liver. The liver is the warehouse, but the liver is much more than that. In addition to being a warehouse, it's your detoxification organ. And that means that when your liver starts to get messed up, your detox system gets messed up and toxins can accumulate. And it also means that by supporting liver health, you can support detoxification, particularly detoxification of hormones. But today we have a health condition that is an epidemic, not just in the United States, but around the world. And it's called fatty liver disease, or technically they call it NASH, or sometimes they call it MASH. Either way, it's a fatty liver problem. Steatohepatitis is what they call it.
What did they do to get fatty
liver? Sugar. Fatty liver disease is a liver manifestation of something called metabolic syndrome. And I remember, I don't know how long you've been with longevity, I think you've been probably as long as I have, right? For 20 years or so. Do you
No,
remember? Not that long. So I remember I did a talk, longevity talk for their convention in the year 2000 or 2001. It was in New Orleans, and the title of my talk was Syndrome X. Nobody knew what Syndrome X was. That's what they used to call it, Syndrome X. And I said, this is going to be something that you're going to start hearing about more and more and more, because Syndrome X is responsible for most of our chronic diseases, including heart disease, and liver disease, and cancer, and obesity, and messed up blood sugar, and bile and gallbladder problems. Well, today, Syndrome X is called metabolic syndrome. And I love that term, metabolic syndrome. They changed the name. What is metabolic syndrome, right? Well, first of all, what's a syndrome? A syndrome is when you have one cause and lots of different symptoms. So, for example, leaky gut syndrome is you have one cause, a leaky gut, but you have arthritis and autoimmune problems and accelerated aging and skin problems and cancer and connective tissue diseases, et cetera, from the one cause. So they call it a syndrome. Well, metabolic, and this is due to leaky gut. Well, metabolic syndrome has a bunch of things associated with it, caused by what? Metabolism. So they might as well call it everything syndrome, because metabolism is everything. So when you have metabolic syndrome, I'll tell you the cause here in a minute. When you have metabolic syndrome, you end up with heart disease, and you end up with vascular diseases, and you end up with autoimmune diseases, and you end up with osteoporosis, and you end up with wrinkles and connective tissue problems, and frequent colds and cold sores and shingles and dementias, and on and on and on. Pretty much everything we suffer from is the end result of this condition called metabolic syndrome. And it's so tragic because the cause of metabolic syndrome is simply insulin resistance and elevated blood sugar. And it's the simplest thing to change. But nobody wants to change it because it means changing the way we eat, and also doing things like exercise and supplementing and resting and making sure we're hydrating. But largely, metabolic syndrome, which is the number one cause of accelerated aging and disease, is an eating disease, an eating disorder. And Debbie, when you think about it, look at the foods we live on today in the year 2026. They did not exist in the year 1826, and most of them didn't even exist in the year 1926. We've completely turned over the food supply to the point where everything in the grocery store is foreign to the body. And in fact, we have a grocery store here in Colorado called King Soopers. I don't know if you have it where you're at in California.
No, we don't.
You have another version of it. I forgot what they call it. But anyway, King Soopers is the big grocery store. So I went to King Soopers one day, and I was walking in there, and I asked the gal who was in the front, I said, do you know where the health food section is? And she pointed me over to the health food section, and I was walking over to the health food section. And as I was walking over there, I was thinking, wait a minute. If that's the health food section, what is all the other stuff? The death food? The disease food section? Why do we have one little section for health food in the grocery store and everything else is death and disease food? And this is the kind of situation we have because we figured out about 100, 150 years ago, we figured out how to make foods feel good to our brain without foods feeling good to our bodies. And so we're all living on food that makes our brains happy, but doesn't make our bodies happy. And we're paying the price. You know, lions in the wild, they don't eat when they're depressed. They don't eat when they have a fight with their spouse. They don't eat when they just got a credit card bill or they just got fired. They eat when they're hungry and they stop eating when they're not. And they don't eat snack foods and they don't eat junk foods and they don't eat popcorn and potato chips and Pop-Tarts. They eat what they're supposed to eat, which is wild animals. And that's the problem. We human beings, because we have this wonderful brain and this wonderful imagination, we eat to satisfy our brain, not to satisfy our bodies. And if we simply made a little tiny tweak and chose foods that satisfy the body and only ate enough to satisfy the body and then stop, not only could we eliminate chronic degenerative diseases, eliminate metabolic syndrome, eliminate liver diseases, but we could also increase and enhance our longevity to the point where we get our 120 years, which we deserve, which Doc Wallach has been talking about forever. We
Yes.
should all be 120. That's our genetic lifespan. And even if we don't make it to 120, at least 110, at least 100, and we shouldn't deteriorate and decay and rot on the way to it.
No, and so healthy eating and taking care, it will make sure you have glowing skin.
Absolutely.
And
Chicken
also,
soup.
it'll make sure that your body's working functionally. Your cells are singing.
Yes, your cells are singing. That's exactly right. And they do sing. You know, if
Yeah,
you
they
put the
do.
right kind of music or the right kind of detection device on your cells, you would hear them singing. Your body is singing. Isn't that
Yeah.
cool?
Yeah,
Our
and that
bodies are our
makes you
bodies and our
happy.
cells sing.
You sing in a different way that we can't, really tell. But
We can't hear it. Well, that's an interesting point because you see, music is coherent. You ever go to an orchestra, go to listen to a symphony, and at the beginning of the symphony, when you walk in, they're all tuning up. And it sounds really cacophonous and noisy, and it's not really pretty. But then all of a sudden, they start to play, and it's beautiful. That's the difference between incoherence and coherence. A light bulb has light that's incoherent. It throws the light everywhere. But a
Right.
laser has light that's coherent. It's organized. It's structured. Well, when the body is young and when the body is healthy, it's coherent. When it's old and when it's diseased and degenerating, it's incoherent. So restoring the body back to coherence so it's making music instead of noise is what good health is all about. And praise God, you know how you do it? You know how you make your body coherent and your cells coherent? With nutrition, with exercise, with sleep, with meditation, with rest, with all the things we know we're supposed to do. Really, what they're about is restoring the body to coherence. And by the way, the connective tissue, which is the most spectacular part of the body for many reasons, the connective tissue makes the water in the body coherent. And when the connective tissue deteriorates, we blobify. Our water sinks. Instead of being structured and coherent, the water turns into a puddle and it sinks to the bottom. That's why older people sink. If you look closely at an older person, their tissues are sinking. And that's because the liquid is sinking. But you look at a child or a teenager or a young adult, and they're strong and they're straight. And that's because the water is coherent as a function of the connective tissue. So building that connective tissue is the key to anti-aging, both inside and out. And for the skin, that's what Truth Treatments are all about. We build connective tissue.
Okay. Well, why don't we talk about your offer today?
You talk about our offer today.
We're getting a discount on Truth Treatments, and it's bit.ly, Truth360 DCL, standing for Debi Changes Lives Discount, and the code is Debi, DEBI, V, and you can use that QR code or the link. But is there anything more that you want to say?
Yes. Let me tell you about all these products. Okay, so and I'm having a hard time seeing the picture, but I believe this is our cleanser, our high hyaluronic honey cleanser. We also have a peppermint salicylate cleanser. I don't put any water in my cleanser. My cleanser is like a cream. It's very thick, and you use only very small amounts. I believe you should only use small amounts of skincare products. You know, there's this meme or there's this idea in the culture that when you put a skincare product on, you slather it on. I'm a pharmacist. You don't slather medicine on. If you're sick, Debbie, and you get your amoxicillin, do you take all 30 pills all at once? No.
No.
You take one little pill, and you take it 3 times a day as directed. Why? Because every little pill is powerful medicine. Well, that's my Truth Treatments. Every drop is powerful medicine. And just like you don't swallow all 30 amoxicillin when you have a cold, you don't slather a Truth Treatment on. You use 1 or 2 drops, and you blend everything with our biomimetic mineral mist, which is our plant-derived ionic minerals. And you know as well as I do, minerals are the foundation of everything. And that's why plant-derived minerals in my skincare products are the foundation of all of my skin treatments. And then we have our transdermal C serum, which is almost, get this, Debbie, almost 80% fat-soluble vitamin C. You're lucky if you go out to the store or the salon to get 10% or 15% vitamin C, and that's the cheap stuff. Ours is almost 80%. And when you put 1 drop or 2 drops of True Transdermal C serum and blend it in your hand with your biomimetic mineral mist, your ionic minerals, make a nice massage it nicely and make a nice emulsion in your hands, massage in your face. You're not going to believe what your skin looks like on day 1, let alone day 7, day 14, day 28, and as the months and the years go by. And we have people who are using our Truth treatments now for 15 years, and they don't go anywhere. And when they run out, they freak out. And I get phone calls sometimes. Hey, I ran out of my serum. Where am I going to get it? You got to send me some, because you don't want to be without this stuff. And that's why if you have a discount here, folks, take advantage of Debi's discount. You're not going to believe what you see when you start to use these formulations on your skin. And by the way, don't take my word for it. Look up the reviews online. They sound crazy. They sound like we made them up. We didn't make them up. That's exactly the kind of results you get when you use 100% active and functional ingredients. I don't put any BS in my products. Every ingredient in my skincare formulations are there for you. And that's one of the reasons I took all the water out and replaced it with active ingredients and transdermal penetrants and what we call ionic mineral solutions, which are structured water versus regular ordinary bulk water.
And I love that vitamin C and the liquid vitamin C that you have.
Isn't that amazing?
A little bit, just a little drop goes a long way.
It should be. That's how it should be. That's how you know you have potency. And you can use my transdermal C serum as well as our biomimetic mineral mist on your baby's diaper rash or on sunburn or on cuts or on scrapes or on post-treated skin. And you don't have omega-6 healing cream in this list, but that is the most spectacular wound healing first aid burn cream you'll ever use. And it's awesome for lips that are dry or elbows that are dry or heels that are dry, especially for diabetic feet. I don't know if you've ever seen diabetic feet, but they're a thing to behold. And if you use Truth Omega-6 healing cream on diabetic feet, all that scaliness and roughness that diabetics have to suffer from on the heels and in the soles of their feet, boom, disappear.
That's wonderful. And you also have other skin devices and stuff like that.
We've got, yes. And it's all available at truthtreatments.com. But you got a great special here, Deb.
Yeah, so and they need to go to that Truth 360 DCL to get that discount.
If you go, the discount is spectacular. If you haven't heard of Truth Treatments and you want to try them, check out the discount. You're not going to, I'm guaranteeing you, if you use Truth Treatments the way they're directed, the way you're directed to use them, there's no way you are not going to have spectacular skin in not just a short period of time, but in 1 to 2 days, you're going to notice dramatic differences on your skin. And what's more, people are going to notice dramatic differences on your skin. People will be saying, what are you doing to your skin? One of the greatest compliments that I get from me personally to hear it, I love hearing this, I hear it all the time. I can go out without my makeup. When I hear women say that, I'm telling you, that just warms my heart, because you shouldn't need makeup. Makeup imitates health. Lipstick, rouge, all the things that women put on, they're imitating health. I say, why simulate health when you can stimulate health? Yeah,
and I always have people always tell me that I don't look my age. So if I'm right?
You don't look I think you don't look your age, but I don't know how old you are, so I can't say.
I'm gonna tell you. Anyways, well, Ben, this is a fabulous offer. Thank you for being on my show. And I know you need to go watch a recital of a granddaughter.
My granddaughter, I'm so excited. Her first recital. She's going to play. You ready for this? She's going to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Aww.
I'm really excited.
Hey, enjoy, and I'll have you back, okay?
Thank you so much. God bless you, Debbie.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Now, remember, I do revitalize people's health in many different areas of health and mindset. I start off with the gut and mindset, and I do help people with blood sugar, hormones, brain and heart, bone and joint, immunity. I help people with anxiousness up to anxiety. And what I do is I guide them to high quality essential nutrient products that reduce symptoms. You'll feel better. You possibly will release more weight, like I did, up to 70. And because I released 20 pounds, that made it 70, and it's going to uplift your mood. Now, with my mindset coaching, I help you release your stress, emotions, emotional entanglements, and I'm there where you're reshaping your core beliefs. Your mindset's going to be more enhanced. Then with my health optimization and mindset and also weight release, your body's more efficient. So your mind and body is going to be singing And that's the mind-body connection that I offer. Now, if you want to learn how to do that, contact me about my programs at Debi Changes Lives. That's DebiChangesLives, as in victory, es.com/linktree, where you're going to get to know me. I'm going to get to know you, and I'll guide you. You can go to the next slide. Guide you to your optimum health. There's a health evaluation that you can do, as well as there is a Zyto scan that you can do. And I also offer products for women and weight release. And I also have a program for weight release as well. And so you can do all that with me. And all you need to do is contact me. And I don't know why my slides are not advancing, but they're not. So I just did, there's the health. Go to the next one. That's the health evaluation. Go to the next one. I have also a body scan that you can do remotely. It's really interesting because it's actually, you can do it with your phone, and it goes directly in your skin to see blood flow for energetic, functional, emotional of different body systems and lifestyles. And the emotional component, knowing that it's tied to organ, helps me give you a better idea of what you need. But this whole report will give you biomarkers out of line and products and services in line. And the scan, this costs $75 because it's a very intense scan. And the ZeroLink is a transdermal optical imaging app, also known as TI, that you can look up on pubmed.gov, which is pubmed.gov for its accuracy. Now, if you have any questions, ask me on my site. And then if you goes to that site, I kind of highlighted it for you, but the next slide shows you my 12-week weight release program, which is mindset, as well as weight release, and you're going to be using a new version of you. I offer group and private coaching, and you'll become a new you. Why Fast is something you can do it yourself, and I do offer coaching with that as well. And what it does is it's an intermittent fasting program. It has a program with food and recipes and exercise. If you need some help, if you need some help, then you can contact me for coaching. Now, I've been told not to rush. So another thing that you can do is I can do mindset and health optimization as well. I can create a custom program for you, and as well as to you can use these smaller programs to see how to create that custom program. But my weight release program is really unique, because when people really understand where their mindset is and what they're eating and how to track it all, and I'm coaching you in a group, whether it's private or group, that's really going to show you what's going on. And I am a certified HIPAA health practitioner, so all your evaluations that you do with me is private. So I go over that. I give you a choice of 3 programs. One's for the GLP-1. Another one is we have other programs there as well. So this is the GLP-1. It's a 3-program product. It's for 30 days, and it will elevate your GLP. So the first one's called Elevate, which is a liquid shot that you drink. The next one is actually something you drink for the next 20 days will keep your GLP active. And the third one is a dietary fiber that you will utilize to regulate and move your bowel movements out so that you will feel better. And that's something that medical professionals don't tell you, that you need to have fiber. Okay, so contact me regarding my these programs. Women's host system is for the people from 30 to 100 and perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. There's 3 products in there, and the probiotic in there is quite amazing. I didn't even know I had a symptom, and it corrected that symptom, which is a intermittent digestive issue. And then there's also other things in there for hormone and aging gracefully. And then I'm still offering my Debi's coaching chats, which is a 30-minute complimentary consultation coaching session in a mid-group setting. Is on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific. As at Debi's Changes Lives /chats. And pretty much anybody it's based on a topic of a survey, and obviously the video audience can see this, but the radio audience has to email me for the topics. And learn more about alternative health by, you can go to my next slide, by subscribing to my newsletter, which is at debichangeslives.com /radio TV show. I give you a gift, which is a 30-day health and mindset daily action journal, where you can record your gratitude, thoughts, feelings, emotions, food, water, supplements, as well as exercise you do on a daily basis. You can even track your measurements. Then you want to review it on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. See your wins and celebrate them, find your gaps to work on. If you're having problems getting over your gap, you contact me for coaching. This journal is a great health and mindset awareness tool. I'm certain that you found my show educational, informative, and enjoyed it, and a little rushed at times. And maybe you can laugh here and there. Continue to enjoy my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives, and take advantage of my offers as well as Ben's offers. And you can get Ben's offers at that QR code or bit.ly Truth360 DCL discount. Remember, the code is Debi V. And the other offers obviously are through my link tree from me. So now continue to watch my show and enjoy it, okay? And it's on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins.